The unassailable power of daily gratitude, anchoring your soul in a chaotic world. Stoic philosophers, those profound architects of enduring wisdom, once penned words that resonate through the ages with an almost sacred clarity. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This timeless invocation, this deeply embedded truth, right there, marks the baseline of an existence truly lived. It's the foundational premise upon which all resilience, all inner peace, and all purposeful action are meticulously constructed. Gratitude, you see, isn't merely a fleeting, feel-good attitude, a saccharine sentiment to be casually adopted when circumstances are convenient. No, it is a formidable weapon against the insidious encroachment of entitlement and the paralyzing grip of anxiety. It possesses an inherent, almost alchemical power to meticulously draw you out of the ceaseless, often frantic mental chatter in your head and firmly anchor you into the palpable reality of the present moment. This is a vital distinction, a transformative pivot point for modern life. The autopilot trap. Why your mornings matter more than you think. Consider for a moment the prevailing rhythm of most lives. A vast majority of individuals inadvertently roll out of bed and plunge directly into autopilot. Their awakening is met not with conscious intention, but with an immediate cascade of blinking notifications, intrusive external noise, and a relentless torrent of mental clutter. Before they have even fully returned to themselves, before their consciousness has truly coalesced from the remnants of sleep, they are already reacting, responding to external stimuli, internalizing the demands of an always-on world. They are fundamentally engaged in a ceaseless, reactive scramble, perpetually trying to catch up before they've even had a chance to firmly plant their own emotional and mental feet. And here's the stark, undeniable truth, a truth as immutable as gravity. If you don't direct your attention first thing in the morning, the world will most certainly do it for you. The digital realm, the urgent demands, the external expectations, they all stand poised, ready to hijack your nascent consciousness, to dictate your internal landscape before you've even had a chance to lay claim to it. The renowned analytical psychologist Carl Jung once articulated this profound concept with piercing accuracy when he stated, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This isn't merely abstract poetry, it is a meticulously precise blueprint for human experience. If you awaken and allow your mind to run wild, unrestrained by intention, stressing incessantly about work pressures, navigating complex interpersonal dynamics, or drowning in a sea of hypothetical problems, you are not genuinely living. You are, quite simply, merely surviving. You are trapped in a reactive loop, a perpetual state of responding to phantom threats and imagined future calamities, all while the precious present moment slips irrevocably through your grasp. Gratitude, in its exquisite simplicity, fundamentally interrupts that pattern. It acts as an unshakable anchor, firmly securing you before the inevitable storms of the day even begin to gather on the horizon. It creates a sanctuary of intentionality, a profound moment of internal calibration before the external world can exert its relentless, often chaotic influence. Life's precious fragility, the ultimate wake-up call for appreciation. Let's be brutally honest with ourselves for a moment. Most of us, in our daily hustle and bustle, inadvertently forget how profoundly rare and exquisitely fragile this thing called life truly is. We become complacent. We complain about minor inconveniences. We incessantly compare our lives to idealized versions seen through the distorted lens of social media, and we often simply coast, drifting through days without a profound appreciation for the sheer miracle of existence. But then suddenly, one unexpected event, a devastating diagnosis, a life-altering accident, an agonizing loss, can, in an instant, flip your entire world upside down. In such moments of jarring clarity, the ephemeral nature of our existence becomes terrifyingly, vividly apparent. When you authentically understand that nothing is truly guaranteed, not tomorrow, not even the next breath, not the steadfast presence of your loved ones, gratitude transforms. It becomes far far less of a perfunctory morning ritual and far more of a mindset for survival. It's not about being naive to suffering, but about drawing strength from the sheer act of being, even amidst profound vulnerability. The simple practice, breathing life into your being. So how do we integrate this profound truth into the fabric of our daily lives? The answer lies in a practice of disarming simplicity, yet possessing monumental power. When you awaken each morning, before the digital din begins, before the weight of obligations settles upon you, intentionally take 3 deep, deliberate breaths. That's all. Slow, steady, present. Allow each inhale to fill you with a sense of quiet affirmation, and each exhale to release the lingering remnants of yesterday's burdens. If it aids your connection, gently place your hand on your heart. This tactile gesture helps you to reconnect viscerally with your body, with the very essence of your being. And as you breathe, as you connect, silently or audibly say it, I'm grateful to be here. This isn't a performance for an audience. It's not a declaration intended to impress anyone. It is a humble yet incredibly profound affirmation just to be. It is the acknowledgement of existence itself as the greatest gift. Deep presence, beyond the examined life. The great Athenian philosopher Socrates famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. This profound assertion has spurred generations of introspection and philosophical inquiry. But perhaps a crucial part of that profound examination isn't solely about asking grand, sweeping questions that dissect the very fabric of existence. Perhaps an even more fundamental aspect of that examination is about practicing deep presence. It's about consciously inhabiting the current moment with a richness, a fullness, and an awareness that transcends mere thought. You don't need an elaborate, leather-bound journal filled with intricate entries, nor do you require some perfectly choreographed meditation routine that demands hours of stillness. You need just one clean thought. This is enough. This moment is enough. This single, unadulterated conviction is the powerful seed of sufficiency. And from that potent seed of enoughness, you meticulously grow into an individual who doesn't need external chaos or dramatic upheaval to feel genuinely alive. You progressively begin to approach your day with a quieter, yet infinitely more profound kind of strength. The kind of strength deeply rooted in stillness, not in frantic, reactive speed. There exists a monumental difference between starting your day driven by external pressure and commencing it guided by intrinsic purpose. One feels akin to a relentless, suffocating struggle, like desperately drowning in a sea of obligations. The other feels like a luminous, liberating clarity. And that pivotal shift, that profound reorientation of your entire being, begins with intention. Tuning your inner frequency from lack to wholeness. When you awaken each morning imbued with a spirit of gratitude, something remarkable occurs. You cease perpetually chasing peace throughout the entire day because you have already started with it. It's akin to precisely tuning your inner frequency, much like adjusting a radio dial to find a clear station. When your internal frequency is meticulously tuned into appreciation, the myriad external irritations that typically hijack your composure, the frustrating traffic, the incessant interruptions, the unforeseen delays, they miraculously lose their insidious grip. This happens not because the external circumstances have changed, but because your internal response mechanism has been fundamentally rewired. You are no longer reacting from a perceived state of lack, from a sense of deficiency. Instead, you are responding from a profound, unshakable state of wholeness. Even the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle spoke to this fundamental truth when he sagely stated that happiness depends upon ourselves. This was not meant in a selfish, egotistical, or narcissistic way. Rather, it was a profound acknowledgement of internal agency. He meant that our inherent capacity for contentment, for flourishing, is not contingent upon external validation or fleeting circumstances, but upon our internal disposition and our conscious cultivation of virtue. The sacred seconds between sleep and action, a crucible of consciousness. Have you ever acutely noticed how those very first quiet moments after you awaken often undeniably set the entire mood for your entire day? For most people, The immediate, almost unconscious impulse is to reach for their phones, to frantically check messages, or to commence worrying about the day's daunting tasks before they have even consciously taken a single, deliberate breath. But the profound way you internally communicate with yourself, the very words you speak to your own being each morning, are incredibly powerful. They intricately sculpt your energy, profoundly shape your mindset, and ultimately determine how you courageously face the vast, unpredictable world. Today, I want to share something that might just fundamentally shift the very paradigm of how you commence every single day of your life. Most individuals don't truly realize this, but those quiet, sacred seconds suspended between the profound depths of sleep and the onset of conscious action are precisely where your mind is most open, most receptive, and consequently, most vulnerable. What you consciously choose to feed it in that pivotal moment will either powerfully strengthen your core and fortify your inner sanctuary, or it will, regrettably, allow chaos to insidiously seep in, compromising your peace from the outset. If you find yourself consistently waking up feeling stressed, perennially overwhelmed, or simply utterly lost in the cacophony of internal and external noise, rest assured you are profoundly not alone. This is a common, shared human experience in our accelerated world. However, and this is the vital message, you unequivocally have a choice. And that precisely is where Stoicism enters the contemporary conversation. Not as a dusty, archaic philosophy relegated to academic texts, but as an eminently practical, transformative daily tool for living a more deliberate, more resilient life. The Stoics firmly believe that how you begin your day is how you meticulously train your soul. They understood, with prescient clarity, that if you fail to consciously anchor your mind, the world with its relentless demands and its own predetermined agenda will inevitably do it for you. And trust me, the world in its ceaseless quest for your attention and energy most certainly has its own, often demanding agenda. So if you are genuinely weary of perpetually starting your mornings already feeling behind, if you are truly ready to cease allowing yesterday's lingering problems or tomorrow's paralyzing anxiety to unequivocally own your present day, then pay close attention. I have insights into 5 simple, profound phrases, daily truths you can speak to yourself, that possess the power to fundamentally change everything. They demand no more than a fleeting minute of your time. But the transformative shift they instigate is profound, deeply personal, and infused with an undeniable power. If what we are meticulously constructing here resonates deeply with your soul, if it genuinely helps you pause, profoundly reflect, and move through life with a heightened sense of clarity and purpose, please consider becoming an active part of this growing community. A simple subscription is far more than mere support. It is a powerful, resounding signal to yourself and to others that you genuinely value growth that lasts, growth that is deeply rooted and enduring, rather than transient. The overlooked miracle, the gift of simply being. You know what's truly wild, truly astounding? We are perpetually chasing something. Success, clarity, love, money, elusive answers. Our minds are almost hardwired for this relentless pursuit. Yet paradoxically, we rarely pause long enough with sufficient genuine appreciation to acknowledge the one profound thing we already possess right now. And I'm not referring to the fleeting now that you casually scroll past on a motivational quote graphic. I'm speaking of the quiet, often overlooked, miraculous reality of simply waking up. The sheer gift of breathing, of opening your eyes to a brand new, entirely unwritten day. You didn't earn that. You weren't promised it, yet you received it. That unequivocally is power. That is an act of profound grace. And that, precisely, is where your genuine strength actually begins. Not in what you manage to achieve or accumulate, but in how deeply and authentically you recognize the sheer, incredible gift of being alive. The morning affirmation, I'm grateful to be here. Before anything else infiltrates your consciousness, before the first text message buzzes, before the weight of your to-do list presses in, even before the first sip of your morning coffee, take that crucial pause, and then, with utmost sincerity, say this to yourself: I'm grateful to be here. This affirmation isn't a conditionality. It's not because life is perfectly polished, flawlessly orchestrated, or devoid of challenges. It is simply because it is present. You are still unequivocally in the game of life. You still possess the invaluable gift of time to evolve, to make amends, to bravely take risks, to speak your truth, and to live with unyielding honesty. Marcus Aurelius, that highly esteemed sage, profoundly understood that you don't need to passively wait for external circumstances to align perfectly, to be ideal, in order to feel genuinely fulfilled. Gratitude, in its active application, fundamentally puts you back in control. It sends a powerful, reassuring message to your brain. I don't need to have it all meticulously figured out to be okay. I don't require external proof or validation to feel internally aligned and at peace. And that right there is the very essence of emotional resilience. That is the hallmark of genuine maturity. That is the genesis of you becoming an individual whom the world cannot easily shake or dislodge from your profound inner equilibrium. The science of gratitude, rewiring for well-being. Let's delve even deeper into the compelling scientific underpinnings of this ancient wisdom. Contemporary psychology has unequivocally demonstrated that consistent gratitude practices actively rewire the brain for more profound, long-term well-being. Rigorous studies from esteemed institutions, such as Harvard and Berkeley, consistently confirm that individuals who diligently practice daily gratitude report significantly higher levels of optimism, experience improved sleep quality, and even exhibit demonstrably stronger immune systems. This isn't because life magically becomes easier for them, it's because their fundamental focus is different. Where others perceive insurmountable problems, they discern invaluable chances for growth and transformation. Where others rush frantically, they consciously pause. And it all commences with this powerful internal reset button you consciously choose to press every single morning. The ancient philosopher Plato famously stated, albeit perhaps in various translations, that a grateful mind is a great mind, which eventually attracts to itself great things. This is not some nebulous, mystical promise or an ethereal, unprovable decree. It is fundamentally a basic principle of cause and effect, a universal law of attraction in its most grounded sense. When your inner being is genuinely centered, your decisions become inherently clearer and demonstrably better. When you operate from a place of profound appreciation, you naturally attract individuals who vibrate at that same positive energy frequency. When you are deeply grounded in gratitude, you are significantly less likely to be manipulated, easily distracted, or derailed from your authentic path. You don't just show up differently in the world, you profoundly attract differently. So before your day gets irrevocably hijacked by the incessant demands of obligations and the oppressive weight of overwhelm, reclaim and own those vital first few seconds. Not with added pressure, not with an elaborate plan, but with pure, unadulterated presence. I'm grateful to be here. Say it aloud or whisper it in your heart. Feel its profound resonance. Let it gently soften your breath and expansively widen your perspective. That simple phrase may seem small, almost negligible, but it holds the inherent power to recalibrate your entire inner system. Because gratitude is not passive, it is unequivocally powerful. It is the proactive mechanism through which you seize control before the world even has a chance to exert its influence. It is how you cease merely existing and profoundly start living. And the more consistently you integrate this practice, the more acutely you will realize that this very moment, right now, is the foundational bedrock for everything else that is to come. Not your future goals, not your meticulously crafted schedule, not even the comforting aroma of your morning coffee. Just this breath, this profound awareness, this precious life. Say it with me now, not just once, but every single morning, before the noise, before the rush. I'm grateful to be here. That is your real, transformative reset. And that is precisely where your profound transformation truly begins. Releasing the past, the freedom of a fresh start. Have you ever blinked and suddenly an entire week seemed to simply fly by? Not in a poetic, life is beautiful kind of way, but in a slightly disorienting, where did the time go kind of way. One moment you're savoring your morning coffee, and the next you're buried under a towering mountain of notifications, meetings, and responsibilities you barely remember agreeing to. It's as if the day itself bolted without asking your permission, leaving you frantically trying to catch up. That, for many of us, is the prevailing rhythm of modern life. Fast, loud, and incredibly demanding. But here's something that cuts through all that pervasive noise like a precision blade. Everything is temporary, and that profound truth isn't intended to instill fear. It is meant to unequivocally wake you up. The acute stress you feel? Temporary. The overwhelming pressure? Temporary. Even the fleeting moments of joy and peace, the truly good stuff, it too is passing. And it is precisely that impermanence that renders it so incredibly precious. The burden of yesterday. Unexamined weight. You ever notice how some people wake up already feeling bone-weary and tired? It's not because they didn't get enough sleep. It's because they never truly allowed themselves to let go of yesterday. Their physical bodies might have rested, but their minds are still relentlessly spinning, replaying every single thing that didn't go right. That one awkward conversation they wish they'd handled differently. That moment they desperately wish had never happened. It just loops incessantly in their head, like a song stuck on repeat, a relentless, intrusive soundtrack to their waking hours. And whether they consciously realize it or not, they are inadvertently dragging all of that emotional baggage, all that mental debris, straight into a brand new, untouched day. It's like attempting to run a crucial race while carrying a fully packed, heavy suitcase from yesterday. Eventually, you are bound to stumble, to trip, to fall. Let's be brutally honest, we carry far too much unnecessary weight from the day before. The awkward conversation, the missed deadline, the regrettable, seemingly dumb mistake. And sometimes it's not even just our own baggage. We inadvertently carry other people's volatile moods, their harsh judgments, and their unspoken expectations too. We permit that insidious shadow of what was to relentlessly follow us straight into what could be. But here's a liberating truth that most people tragically overlook. You're not meant to relive yesterday. You're unequivocally meant to learn from it, and then, crucially, to leave it precisely where it belongs. That truly is the real test of inner strength. Not achieving an elusive perfection, but cultivating the profound ability to release. The declaration of freedom. Yesterday doesn't own me. So begin right here. Remind yourself with profound conviction, every single morning, yesterday doesn't own me. Say it like you genuinely mean it. Say it as if your very peace, your serenity, depends on it, because it absolutely does. That single potent sentence might not miraculously erase the past, but it crucially separates you from it. It draws an inviolable boundary between what transpired and what you are consciously choosing now. And that boundary, that's freedom. That's your daily profound reset button. Carl Jung, with his deep insights into the human psyche, once wrote, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." That line truly is pure gold, because what happened yesterday might serve to explain your pain, your struggles, your history, but it does not, under any circumstances, get to definitively define your path forward. You and only you get to decide what story you are telling yourself today. You get to decide whether you carry the crushing weight of shame or the invigorating power of strength. And that, tragically, is the part too many people inadvertently give away. They replay the worst parts of their lives, their most painful memories, as if they are uncompleted homework assignments that can never be truly finished. But at some crucial juncture, you've got to resolutely close that book and begin writing the next chapter. The Stoic lens on the past. Response as power. The Stoics held a powerfully pragmatic view on this. They firmly believed that what truly matters most is not the external event itself, but profoundly how you choose to respond to it. Epictetus famously declared, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Yesterday might have been an absolute mess. You may have uttered the wrong words, lost your composure entirely, or tragically missed a golden opportunity. Okay, but now what? Are you going to dwell there forever, trapped in a perpetual loop of regret and self-recrimination? Or are you going to bravely take what you learned, extract the vital lessons, and decisively move forward, stronger, mindlessly keep scribbling yesterday's painful story onto today's page, you never get the chance to write anything new, anything transformative. That's precisely why letting go isn't weakness, it's profound wisdom. It is the very essence of emotional discipline. It is the conscious, resolute decision to declare, I will not waste today fighting battles I've already lost or futilely trying to fix things that no longer exist. That truly is a profound strength that most people tragically overlook. The strength to cease picking at the same old wound, preventing it from ever truly healing. Socrates believed that an examined life was absolutely essential for self-awareness and growth, but that doesn't imply you should endlessly poke at the past until it bleeds anew. Examining doesn't equate to reliving. It means meticulously observing, understanding, and then crucially, releasing. Take the invaluable lesson, leave the burdensome weight behind. And if that sounds too simplistic, ask yourself honestly, what has desperately clinging to yesterday really done for you? Has it genuinely healed you? Has it truly helped you move forward? Or has it merely made your present existence far heavier than it ever needed to be? A practical ritual of release, the backpack of burdens. Now here's something profoundly practical you can seamlessly integrate into your morning ritual. Picture the thoughts, the heavy emotions you're currently holding on to, the regret, the guilt, the embarrassment, as if they are stones in a heavy backpack. Every single morning, before you even fully emerge from the comfort of your bed, gently close your eyes, and then vividly imagine taking that backpack off. Literally visualize it sliding effortlessly off your shoulders and landing with a soft thud on the floor beside you. Feel your body immediately relax. Let that powerful visual transform into a consistent, meaningful ritual. Because when you genuinely let go, both physically and mentally, your nervous system receives an unequivocal, calming message. We're safe. We're free. We're starting clean, unburdened. Aristotle sagely taught that habit is what forms character. So what if you transform this process of letting go into an ingrained habit? Not a one-time desperate act, but a muscle you consciously flex every single day. The more consistently you practice this deliberate release, the easier it becomes to fundamentally separate your core identity from your old wounds. You cease being the individual who is always messing up or always behind. Instead, you begin evolving into the person who recovers with astonishing speed, forgives with greater ease, and consciously chooses peace on purpose. And it's not solely about the grand, monumental moments of emotional baggage. Sometimes we inadvertently carry tiny, almost imperceptible things we didn't even realize were subtly weighing us down. The subtle, unsettling tone in someone's text message. That overheard comment that burrowed under our skin. The passive-aggressive remark that lingered. These are the small, seemingly insignificant stresses that build up, accumulating until we don't even comprehend why we feel so perpetually tense. That's precisely why this practice of daily release matters. Every single morning. Not just after a major meltdown, but consistently checking in, clearing out the mental debris. There's a profound quote often attributed to Plato. The beginning is the most important part of the work, and it holds undeniable truth. If you commence your day burdened by the past, your actions, your words, your very choices, they are all filtered through that lingering residue. But if you begin with presence and conscious release, you gain crystal clarity. You seize genuine power. You refrain from dragging the noise of yesterday into today's pristine silence. So here's the transformative move. Stop treating every new day like it's simply a continuation of your worst memories. That's profoundly unfair to you. That's profoundly unfair to your potential for growth. Yesterday had its shot. Today is unequivocally yours. And you owe it to yourself to show up fully. Not halfway, not haunted, not on autopilot. Say it again with me. Feel the liberation in your voice. Yesterday doesn't own me. That's not denial. That's definitive direction. That's you choosing healing over hurt. That's you remembering that your future is not meticulously built on the debris of your past. It's constructed, brick by conscious brick, on the choices you make right now, in the present moment. So choose presence, choose peace, choose to deliberately drop the weight, and then go forth and live like you genuinely mean it. Mastering your mind, the ultimate internal control. It's effortless to feel like life is relentlessly spinning out of control these days. One moment you're calmly sipping your coffee, and the next you're drowning in a deluge of text messages, breaking news updates, urgent emails, and back-to-back meetings. And then the thoughts surge forward, fast, noisy, incessantly demanding your precious attention. It's as if your mind unilaterally decides to open its own internal app, launching countless tabs you never consciously clicked on before. Before you even realize it, you're not thinking. You're being thought. You're merely reacting, desperately chasing every fleeting feeling, every insidious worry, every paralyzing what if. It's utterly exhausting, and it's a dangerous trap. The Stoics, those sagacious observers of human nature, foresaw this very predicament centuries ago. They understood that the chaos existing outside us, no matter how turbulent, isn't nearly as perilous as the chaos brewing inside us. That's precisely why they meticulously trained daily to master their own minds before the external world could infiltrate and commandeer their inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, powerfully declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That profound statement, right there, encapsulates the absolute core of all personal power. It's not about attempting to rigidly control others, nor is it about frantically manipulating every external outcome. It is, profoundly, about controlling the only thing you ever truly could, your response. And that precisely is where your morning becomes your personal sanctuary, your training ground. The morning sanctuary, claiming your mental sovereignty. Before the world fully awakens and begins its relentless screaming for your attention, there exists a tiny, precious window of silence, a sacred pause, and what you choose to do in that profound pause meticulously sets the tone for everything that follows. So here's your unwavering anchor, your daily declaration. Say this to yourself with resolute conviction: I control my mind. Say it before your phone even vibrates, before the weight of your task presses in, before your thoughts even begin their chaotic spinning. Say it with your whole chest. Feel the resonance deep within your core. Because when you unequivocally claim that fundamental truth early in the day, you construct an impregnable shield, a powerful bulwark that endures throughout the entire day. Carl Jung once penned with poetic precision, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." This isn't just beautiful poetry. It is a meticulously precise blueprint for profound inner liberation. Most people navigate their day entirely outward focused, constantly pulled by external noise, ensnared by comparison, driven by ego and the relentless pursuit of social status. But the moment you consciously shift your gaze inward, even for a mere 60 seconds, you begin to awaken. You realize that not every fleeting emotion is inherently true. Not every chaotic thought genuinely deserves your precious attention. Your mind might be ceaselessly busy, but you, your authentic self, don't have to be enslaved by its activity. Here's something remarkably simple you can try first thing in the morning. Just sit still. For 1 minute. Nothing elaborate, no distracting music, no frantic scrolling, just you and the quiet rhythm of your breath. Inhale slowly, deliberately. Exhale even slower, releasing tension. And as the thoughts inevitably come, and they most certainly will, let them gently pass by, like ephemeral clouds drifting across a vast sky. Don't desperately grab onto them. Don't harshly judge them. Just breathe. That serene space, that precious void between an external stimulus and your internal response. That is precisely where your profound power resides. That is where you remember, with crystal clarity, I am not my thoughts. I'm the one watching them. The victory within, training your mindset. Plato, with his enduring philosophical insights, believed that the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Not your challenging job, not your overwhelming schedule, not your overflowing inbox, but yourself. And that pivotal victory begins unreservedly in your head. Every single time you catch yourself spiraling into anxious overthinking or reacting impulsively, you are presented with a crucial choice. Will you permit your mind to endlessly drag you through its chaotic currents, or will you decisively direct it? Will you be the astute driver, meticulously steering your internal landscape, or simply a passive passenger at the mercy of every mental detour? And look, this isn't about transforming into some ascetic monk residing atop a remote mountain. This is about practical, actionable control in a relentlessly loud world. It's about consciously choosing your internal mood instead of being perpetually hijacked by external circumstances. You don't have to answer every demanding call. You don't have to feed every debilitating fear. You don't have to permit every minor inconvenience to irrevocably shatter your peace. Peace is not a passive state. It is an active, deliberate decision. And the more consistently you choose to claim it, the more effortlessly natural it becomes to inhabit that state of profound calm. Socrates once sagely advised, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." And the new unequivocally starts with you consciously affirming, "This is the deliberate direction I'm moving in. This is the positive tone I'm setting for my day. This is the mindset I unequivocally choose." Because your mindset isn't some predetermined inheritance, it is something you actively, diligently train. The neuroscience of intention, rewiring for calm. Modern psychology unequivocally backs this profound truth. Neuroscience, with its ever-growing insights into the complexities of the human brain, tells us that your brain is not a static, fixed entity. It is profoundly plastic. It actively rewires itself based on what you consistently focus on. If you habitually spend your entire morning reacting, compulsively doom-scrolling, engaging in constant comparison, and dwelling in incessant complaining, your brain literally becomes more proficient at generating stress responses. It strengthens those neural pathways of anxiety and negativity. But if you consciously choose to spend your mornings anchoring yourself, breathing deeply, making deliberate choices, and observing your thoughts with detached awareness, your brain demonstrably becomes more proficient at generating calm and peace. You are literally biologically training yourself for peace. Even Aristotle, with his ancient wisdom, keenly observed that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Ponder that for a moment. You don't become mentally strong overnight. You become strong by consistently choosing the same powerful intention every single morning. I control my mind. That's your daily rep. That's your mental discipline. And just like lifting a physical weight, it becomes progressively easier with consistent practice. So the very next time your mind begins to pull you relentlessly toward debilitating doubt, surging anger, or distracting noise, consciously pause, breathe. And remember, just because a thought showed up doesn't mean you have to follow it. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's inherently true. Your inner voice, when diligently trained and consciously empowered, is infinitely stronger than all the external noise combined. But you have to actively choose it. And yes, inevitably, you're going to stumble. You'll have days where your untamed mind runs the entire show, and you'll momentarily forget all of this profound wisdom. That's perfectly okay. Don't harshly judge it, just gently return. The Stoics were not about achieving an impossible perfection. They were about cultivating unwavering awareness. The real enduring growth isn't in never slipping. It's in noticing sooner when you do, and returning faster to the authentic, peaceful core of who you truly are. So tomorrow morning, before the emails cascade in, before the headlines blare, before the world reaches out its clamoring hands for your attention, sit quietly with yourself. Close your eyes, inhale calm, exhale chaos, and speak it aloud or whisper it in your heart. I control my mind. Let that powerful affirmation be your unwavering compass. Let that be your serene center, because the world might be loud, undeniably so. But you are louder when you choose to be. And that, precisely, is how you reclaim your power every single day. Kindness as an invincible force, the gentle strength of the Stoic soul. There's something profoundly magnetic, almost undeniably captivating, about individuals who walk into a room and effortlessly bring calm with them. They don't need to speak loudly or aggressively dominate the space. Their very presence simply feels deeply, inherently grounded. You instinctively feel safe and at ease around them, as if their internal energy isn't desperately seeking to prove anything. And you find yourself wondering, how do they achieve that? The answer isn't elusive fame, vast monetary wealth, or some meticulously complex self-help routine. It's something far simpler, yet infinitely more powerful. It's kindness, real kindness, the kind that isn't performative, designed for an audience, the kind that is deeply rooted in unshakable inner strength, not born of weakness or insecurity. You ever encounter someone whose very energy feels profoundly peaceful? That's not random. That's intentional. It originates from this daily conscious decision. Kindness, the Stoic superpower. Kindness is my superpower, not in a soft, airy, overly simplistic Instagram quote way, but in a grounded, intensely practical, unequivocally Stoic way. Because being kind doesn't equate to being passive. It doesn't mean you permit people to walk all over you, or that you meekly shy away from speaking difficult truths when they are necessary. In fact, it's the profound opposite. True kindness demands immense self-control. It rigorously requires discipline. Marcus Aurelius once asserted, "Kindness is invincible if it's sincere, not fawning or pretending." What can even the most malicious person do if you keep treating them with kindness and remain firm? That precisely is the exquisite balance. Gentle but not fragile, soft-spoken but not silent. In the modern world, we often erroneously mistake harshness for strength, as if being cold or emotionally detached somehow proves you're in command. But here's what Stoicism profoundly teaches us. The strongest person isn't the one who dominates or controls others. It's the one who controls themselves. Kindness is a profound form of self-mastery. It signifies that you've diligently cultivated enough inner awareness to consciously pause before reacting impulsively. You possess enough genuine humility to actively listen before rushing to judgment. And you embody enough unwavering courage to extend grace, even when it feels entirely undeserved or unreciprocated. Carl Jung famously delivered a truth that hits with immense impact. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. That resonates deeply, doesn't it? Because we all carry that inner storm, the insecurities, the latent pain, the hidden fears. And when we witness it manifest in others, we often forget that they are battling their own profound version of what we ourselves are navigating. Kindness skillfully bridges that inherent gap. It's not about maintaining an overly positive facade or falsely pretending everything is okay. It's about consciously choosing to discern the inherent humanity in people, even when it's buried under thick layers of defensiveness, anger, or perceived malice. The ripple effect of daily kindness. Start your day with that transformative mindset, and you will viscerally feel the profound shift. You'll find yourself speaking more softly, not because you're weak, but because you intrinsically know you don't need to shout to be truly heard. You'll react more slowly, not because you're indifferent, but because you value inner peace far more than the fleeting satisfaction of being right. And you'll lead with unwavering patience, not because you lack care, but because you profoundly understand that genuine transformation, both yours and everyone else's, requires significant time and gentle cultivation. Socrates once sagely advised, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." And he wasn't merely being poetic, he was articulating a fundamental, stark reality. Much of the pain and negativity that people project has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's their own unresolved issues, their own unhealed wounds, their own untold stories. When you operate from that profound awareness, you cease taking things so personally. You begin to see beyond the surface. That rude comment, it's likely born of fear. That passive aggression, it stems from deep-seated insecurity. That stony silence, it probably masks profound pain. Kindness doesn't mean excusing deplorable behavior, but it unequivocally means responding with clarity and compassion instead of succumbing to ego-driven reactions. Practical kindness, a habit of contribution. And here's where it becomes even more practical, more actionable. Visualize just one kind thing you will purposefully do today. Seriously, pick something right now. Perhaps it's offering a genuine compliment to someone who seems visibly disheartened. Maybe it's consciously pausing to truly, deeply listen when someone speaks, without formulating your response. Perhaps it's simply sending a thoughtful text to a friend, just to let them know you're thinking of them. It doesn't matter how small or seemingly insignificant the act. It consistently adds up. That one small act might be the only positive, truly good thing someone experiences throughout their entire day. And here's the truly wild part. That act of kindness will probably do more for you than it does for them. Because every single kind action you undertake powerfully reinforces your intrinsic identity as someone who leads with intention, not with mere impulse. Plato believed that excellence is not a single act but a deeply ingrained habit. The same profound truth applies to kindness. It's not about passively waiting until you're in a perfect mood or until someone explicitly deserves it. It's about consciously choosing who you ardently desire to be on purpose, meticulously making kindness a consistent practice, repeating it until it becomes your very nature. And when kindness becomes your inherent nature, your very presence profoundly shifts. You no longer enter rooms desperately attempting to get something. Instead, you show up with the serene intention to offer something. That's a fundamentally different kind of power, a deeper, more meaningful kind. And yes, inevitably, people might misunderstand you. They might mistakenly perceive your patience as passivity or your calm demeanor as disinterest. But here's the crucial key. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because it perfectly aligns with your core values. You're doing it because it profoundly reflects the magnificent person you are meticulously building yourself to be. And the unvarnished truth is, nothing builds long-term influence, nothing commands respect quite like consistent, unwavering kindness. Not fleeting charm, not intellectual prowess, not even relentless hustle, just kindness. Kindness, the warrior's virtue. The Stoics, let's be clear, were not soft or naive. They were formidable warriors of the mind. They confronted immense hardship, endured profound betrayal, and experienced agonizing loss. Yet through it all, they steadfastly believed in leading with unwavering virtue. To them, kindness was not a mere accessory, an optional embellishment to their character. It was absolutely core. It was the foundational bedrock of a life well lived, a life of profound integrity. And when you truly internalize that truth, you cease perpetually seeking external applause. You cease desperately trying to prove your inherent worth. You simply live it, quietly, consistently, completely. So tomorrow morning, before the relentless demands of the day sweep you away, pause, center yourself, and gently remind your mind. Kindness is my superpower, not because you desperately need people to like you, but because it is who you consciously choose to be. Then go out there and live like someone who isn't afraid to be genuinely good. Not fake good, but truly, powerfully good. That's what leaves an indelible mark. That's what fundamentally rewrites the energy of a room. And more often than not, that's what ultimately ends up changing people. Starting profoundly with you. Embracing impermanence, the timeless art of present living. Have you ever simply blinked and then realized an entire week just inexplicably flew by? Not in a poetic, life is beautiful kind of way, but in a slightly disorienting, where did all that time go kind of way. 1 minute, you're peacefully sipping your morning coffee, and the next you're buried under a towering mountain of notifications, back-to-back meetings, and countless responsibilities you barely remember agreeing to. It's as if the day itself unilaterally ran away without asking for your permission, leaving you frantically trying to catch up, perpetually playing a game of emotional and mental chase. That for many of us has become the pervasive rhythm of modern existence. Fast, loud, and incredibly demanding. But here's a profound truth that powerfully cuts through all that pervasive noise like a sharpened blade. Everything is temporary, and that fundamental truth isn't intended to instill debilitating fear or existential dread. It is profoundly meant to unequivocally wake you up. The acute stress you feel, temporary. The crushing pressure you endure, temporary. Even the effervescent joy, the profound peace, the truly good stuff, it too is transient, passing. And it is precisely that inherent, beautiful impermanence that renders it so incredibly precious, so worthy of our undivided attention. Memento mori, the ancient practice of awareness. The Stoics comprehended this existential reality perhaps better than anyone else. They rigorously practiced what they termed memento mori, a daily solemn reminder of our own mortality. This wasn't designed to be morbid or depressing. On the contrary, it was conceived as a powerful tool for heightened awareness. Because when you genuinely internalize that nothing is truly guaranteed, not tomorrow, not even the next fleeting hour, not the steadfast presence of your cherished loved ones, you begin to treat the present moment with a profound, almost sacred level of respect. Plato once articulated, "Time is the moving image of eternity." That powerful insight strikes profoundly different chords when you truly contemplate how little of that precious moving image we actually utilize well. So much of our finite time is squandered either relentlessly regretting the irrevocable past or incessantly worrying about an uncertain future. We rarely simply are. We rarely fully inhabit the exquisite, unfolding present. But presence is a profound skill. It is a rigorous discipline, something you must actively, diligently train, just as you would sculpt your physical body, hone your intellectual mind, or cultivate your patience. Carl Jung deeply believed that the ability to be fully present in the moment is a major component of mental wellness. And it makes undeniable sense, doesn't it? The overwhelming majority of our anxiety resides firmly in the projected future. The deepest sorrow we carry often lingers stubbornly in the unchangeable past. The present, however, that is precisely where your feet are actually planted. That is where your very breath lives. That is where all your inherent power exists. Yet, we are so perpetually distracted, so perpetually pulled in myriad directions, that we tragically miss it. We miss the golden sunlight streaming softly through the window. We miss the nuanced taste of our breakfast. We miss the way the air subtly shifts and feels right before a cleansing rainstorm. These small, seemingly insignificant moments, tragically overlooked by so many, are in fact everything. Embracing the now, a conscious choice for joy. So here is your urgent reminder, your clarion call to conscious living. Say it to yourself with every fiber of your being, like you genuinely mean it. This moment is all I have, so I'm gonna enjoy it. Not tomorrow, not later, now. This current cup of coffee, this serene, quiet space before the children awaken. This conversation you are presently engaged in with a trusted friend, where for once neither of you is compulsively checking your phone. Life isn't patiently waiting to begin, it is happening right now. And if you are not fully, vibrantly present within it, you're not merely missing precious time, you are profoundly missing your life. Aristotle eloquently discussed the concept of eudaimonia, the profound idea of flourishing, of living a truly good and deeply meaningful life. He did not tether that flourishing to some distant, elusive goal or external, fleeting success. He meticulously tied it to virtue and action, to how you live each moment, to how you show up with unwavering integrity, heightened awareness, and deliberate intention. Enjoying the present does not imply ignoring your responsibilities or shirking your duties. It means diligently learning how to fully experience whatever moment you are in, even the messy, challenging ones. Let's be candid though. Cultivating presence is profoundly difficult. It's often far easier to distract yourself, to remain perpetually busy, to always think about what comes next. Because sitting still with yourself, truly inhabiting your internal space, that's precisely where the real, transformative work begins. The Stoics referred to this profound inner stillness as ataraxia, a kind of serene, unshakable calm that remains undisturbed by the tumultuous external world. And one of the quickest, most direct pathways to tap into that intrinsic calm is to consciously slow down and intently notice the moment you are in, precisely as it is. Whether it's the rhythmic motion of brushing your teeth or the gentle sway of the wind moving through the trees, allow yourself to be fully, completely there. And look, this isn't about pretending life isn't stressful. It absolutely is. The world will continue to move at a breakneck pace. People will continue to pull relentlessly at your time and energy. But when you diligently practice presence, you cease inadvertently giving your power away. You cease being compulsively ruled by an artificial sense of urgency. Instead, you consciously choose clarity, the present moment, your source of inner strength. Seneca sagely wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." That's the essence of it. Not merely surviving, but actively enjoying. And enjoyment doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It can be profoundly discovered in stillness, in quiet appreciation, in the serene pause between things. So, tomorrow, or even right now as you are intently reading this, pause. Take one deep, cleansing breath. Feel it gently travel through your chest, expanding your being. Notice where your feet are firmly planted. Notice what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch. Be where you are, not where you mistakenly believe you need to be. Presence is power because it meticulously brings you back to your authentic self. Not the version of you that's perpetually performing. Not the version that's frantically planning or consumed by regret. Just you, here now. Socrates, the masterful questioner of everything, once famously inquired, "How can you wonder your travels? Do you know good when you carry yourself around with you?" The profound truth is, it genuinely doesn't matter where you are geographically or what you are actively doing. If you cannot be fully present, nothing will truly satisfy you. Not external success, not fleeting status, not even escapism. That's precisely why presence isn't an optional luxury. It is absolutely essential. Do you desire more profound fulfillment? More genuine connection? More unshakable peace? It doesn't originate from doing more. It emanates from noticing more. It comes from diligently paying attention. It comes from consciously choosing to savor and enjoy the little things precisely as they are happening, instead of tragically missing them and later wishing you paid attention. This moment, this very one, is already subtly slipping away. Not in a dramatic, catastrophic fashion, but quietly, imperceptibly, just as it always does. So consciously hold it a little longer. Appreciate it a little deeper. And frequently remind yourself, everything is temporary, so I will enjoy this moment. That powerful mindset doesn't just decelerate time, it expansively stretches it. It makes your experience of life richer, more deeply meaningful. And over time, you begin to realize that this moment, this seemingly small, transient speck of time, was never truly small. It was in its entirety everything. You just needed to consciously notice. So as you courageously move through today, whatever it inherently holds, carry this profound truth with you. Peace isn't found in the elusive next moment. It's discovered in this one, right here, right now. If these words resonated deeply with something within your soul, there's another video waiting for you on screen that delves even deeper into meticulously building a life profoundly rooted in stillness, luminous clarity, and unshakable inner strength. I genuinely believe you'll find it incredibly powerful. Thank you for being here and for being an integral part of Stoic Journal.